Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Marks. I'm a Detective Chief Inspector, currently attached to the Robbery Serious Crime Squad. I'm here to give you an update on the kidnapping and murder of Mr Baghsarian. This morning, police attached to the Strike Force executed 3 search warrants and made 2 arrests in connection with the murder and kidnapping of Mr Baghsarian. A 29-year-old from Kenthurst and a 24-year-old from Castle Hill were arrested, and they're currently at the Riverstone Police Station. They are still being processed, and we expect that they'll be charged in connection with the kidnapping and murder of Mr Baghsarian. We allege in court that these men participated in a joint criminal enterprise with other persons to kidnap Mr Baghsarian, and ultimately, where he was held hostage, where he came to his death, and they'll be charged with his murder. Once again, I wish to stress that Mr Baghsarian was not the intended target of the kidnapping. I can tell you at the search warrants at Kenthurst and Castle Hill, detectives seized electronic devices, clothing and other items that will suggest link to the kidnapping and murder of Mr Baghsarian. At the Lake Macquarie address, we seized 2 electronic devices. We can now confirm that the remains that were located yesterday were in fact Mr Baghsarian. We have done this through forensic testing. Whilst the family of Mr Baghsarian, while they welcome the news of the arrests, they are still devastated by the loss of their father and grandfather. Again, they have asked that you respect their privacy. Lastly, I want to comment on the hard work of the detectives, the analysts, forensic police, and all those that worked on this case around the clock to get the result we got today. But I want to assure you that our work is not done, and we will continue to find out those and identify those that were also involved in this horrible, horrible matter. I'm open for questions.
With these 2 men that have been arrested this morning, will you allege that they were there on the morning? You know, we've all got that grainy CCTV of the 4-wheel drive. Will you allege that they are 2 of those people?
We will allege that they were in and around the area at that time.
And then what about the 3rd person? Is there a 3rd person assisting you guys at this stage? Because there's 3 in that vision. Is there a 3rd person assisting police?
No.
So you're looking then for?
As I said earlier, we're looking for those responsible, and although there are 3 persons in that footage, and I think I said earlier in other press conferences that we're looking for all those that are involved, and we suspect that there's more than 3.
And how long have you been aware of the people who you've arrested this morning?
From the day that we arrested, from the day that Mr Baghsarian went missing, I said there was 2 streams to this investigation. One was to locate Mr Baghsarian, and the other one was to follow the trail that was left behind by those involved. We had been following that trail from the 13th of February until the point where we decided there was enough evidence to arrest those involved, and that culminated in the arrest today.
Were they known to the police prior to their arrest?
I can say that they were known, but for insignificant matters.
Do you know who they're associated with? I mean, were they hired to carry out Mr Baghsarian's kidnapping?
So that will form part of the investigation, and we're still investigating in relation to what their knowledge was and what their involvement was in relation to the kidnapping, in relation to any other persons involved.
And you said earlier that you say that they were involved in being at the location where Mr Baghsarian died. Have you established where that is now? Was that the property in Dural? We
suspect that Mr Baghsarian did die at that property in Dural.
Do you know when?
Other than to say that we believe that Mr Baghsarian was deceased at the time that he was dropped off at the property, at the location where he was found, and that was after 9 o'clock on Saturday the 14th of February.
Can you say how you specifically pinpointed these 2 people and so quickly after the human remains were found yesterday?
As I said, we followed the trail. There was canvassing of CCTV, vehicles were identified, and that's how we came to identify the two persons that were arrested today.
Do you know how Mr Baghsarian died?
No, not at this stage. The autopsy of the remains of Mr Baghsarian has not been conducted at this stage, and that will give us more answers in relation to how Mr Baghsarian passed away.
What charges are they looking at?
There's a series of charges in relation to the kidnapping and also murder.
And what was the significance of the Lake Macquarie location?
We suggest one of the persons that was arrested today travelled up to Lake Macquarie after the offence and spoke to somebody there. And as a result of that, we seized 2 electronic devices from persons up at that address in Lake Macquarie.
Is that where the third search warrant was executed?
That's correct.
So was there a search warrant at Dural at all this morning?
No.
Is that that person that was spoke to, is that a suspect in this case?
No, they're assisting police at this stage.
How far is this investigation going? In terms of organisation, do you think it was orchestrated overseas or done locally?
That's still an ongoing part of our investigation, and we can't really make any further comment about that.
And have you identified why the intended target may have been the target of this kidnapping?
I suspect that the intended target was going to be kidnapped where a ransom for money was going to be asked for.
And do you think that $50 million ransom that's been floating around is an accurate number that they were asking for?
I've seen some of the commentary and some of the messages that were on that device, and I believe that's the figure that was requested.
And those communications, do you believe that they were between any of these 2 men that are arrested today and the intended target, or do you think someone else was sending those messages?
I believe somebody else was sending those messages.
Can you say now whether there was anything else, pieces of evidence that were found at the scene in Pitt Town where the body was found?
Our examination at Pitt Town has been finalised, but we can't comment on whether any of that has been linked due to the forensic testing not being completed at this stage.
I just wanted to ask, I mean, it's incredible police work that you've been able to find the body and largely solve this, bring 2 people into custody as quickly as you have. You look exhausted. How is the team of Robbery Squad detectives? Like, I mean, bittersweet day, but how is your team?
They are a dedicated bunch of detectives from the Robbery Serious Crime Squad, and we have been greatly assisted by other members of the State Crime Command and North Region detective officers. They know the work's not done. This is only a part of the investigation. We have identified 2 people that were involved. We know that there's others involved. Although we celebrate small wins, we know there's a lot more to go.
Have you identified who did organise this kidnapping? Do you have a suspect in mind for who had been carrying it out?
That's ongoing. Our investigations are ongoing in relation to that, and at this stage we don't have any evidence to implicate others. But that is ongoing, and we are very hopeful that we can identify others.
Do you have an idea of who might have been sending those messages that you were talking about earlier?
I'm not going to comment any further other than to say what I've said in relation to that.
I know you can't say whether overseas actors are involved, but can you say whether or not people who were arrested were actually contracted to carry this out, or whether they actually were part of an organisation?
We haven't identified that in relation to the contract, so I can't really comment on that.
So the 2 people that were arrested are living at their parents' place. Did you get a chance to speak with them? How did they react? Did they know or suspect that police would come knocking?
I can tell you that they were shocked. I don't believe that they were expecting us to come in relation to the parents. I believe that those 2 that were arrested today were probably waiting for us to come. Yes.
What was that sort of those moments like? What were they saying, the 2 people that were arrested?
Oh, they didn't say too much.
Yeah. It seems like, from the outset, that these 2 have allegedly made a string of mistakes over, a nearly 2-week period. Will you be alleging that they are, experienced, sophisticated criminals?
Well, they're only mistakes because they've been caught, right? So we would allege that it's good police work too. So.
Will it be part of your? Will you allege that that they were involved in taking that car to Westmead?
We will allege that they were involved at some stage with that car.
Okay.
Did police visit the home of the man in Castle Hill prior to his arrest today?
No. No.
Any other questions?
What message do you have for these organised criminal enterprises that might think of doing something like this in the future?
It's very difficult for me to comment about that. I don't like giving them names. I don't like giving them the airtime. They are organised criminals. They hide behind encrypted devices, and I have a number of names for them, but I probably couldn't say it here today.
Can you just talk about, you've been doing this a long time and seen a lot of cases that, quite distressing, I'm sure, but can you talk about just how, shocking this has been? This is an innocent 85-year-old man that's taken from his bedroom. Just how bad is this?
Well, I think the fact that there's been media conferences nearly every day, the public interest in it, it's somebody's worst nightmare, right? The fact that an innocent man was taken from his home is not acceptable. These people need to be held to account for that, and that's why we are bringing these people before the courts. And we hope that it doesn't happen again.
Would it be one of the worst cases that you've worked on?
It's up there.